All right, got a Canelo Charlo update and Canelo update where he at as far as his selection process. Also, let's talk about David Benavidez. He did some interviews with Nestor Gibb that popped up on Fight Hype. So Nest been dropping videos on Fight Hype now. Shout out to Fight Hype and the Nest connection, right? So apparently, Benavidez was in the barber chair, and I don't know if he got more parts coming. And they were talking about like Canelo and Charlo. But one of the things you notice in these interviews is that he got a lot of he has a different type of tone when it comes to Charlo, right? He has a little bit he has a little bit more malice when it comes to Charlo, right? And he talked about like, he like when he talked Canelo it's with respect, right? You know what I'm saying? When he talked to Canelo, it's kind of with his respect. When it come to Jermall Charlo, it's more about it's more disrespect there, maybe because they're on the same side of the street. He talked about, why does Charlo deserve to fight? He don't. Basically Charlo, Rocky Field, etc. As far as Canelo, they pretty much all have done pretty much the same exact thing. And at the end of the day, you feel kind of where you coming from. Um, you feel it. You know what I'm saying? You feel it. You feel the frustration and yeah, you feel it, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? They said, well, I ain't done this and I ain't done this, but what have they done? But like when it's come to Canelo, he has a certain amount of respect. When it comes to Charlo, there's a level of no respect. And I'm not trying to say it's nothing racial at all. I just think the Mexicans and Mexican Americans stay on code. You know what I'm saying? Even when his father talk about Canelo and not getting a fight. And obviously we know Canelo don't want to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Canelo don't want to fight him. Just Charlo fight him before Canelo would. At least Charlo, even though it was a pump fake, at least Charlo, you know what I'm saying? At least he attempted to pump fake. At least he said he'd knock him out. He too young. Then he came with excuses about being vaccinated. And then he came with excuses about this, that, and third. But at least Charlo, kind of, said he would fight him. He would slump him. Canelo, basically, Team Canelo, he got his trainer talking for him. And his trainer said that, that they, he ain't done enough. That's what he said. His trainer said he ain't done enough. What has he done? And I'm thinking like, what has Alexander Usyk done? Not Usyk. I'm watching something, but what has Usyk done enough? Done a lot. What has Rocky Fielder done? What did Danny Jacobs do besides really win but lose Triple G? You know what I'm saying? What has they done? So when he comes to Canelo, it's more about it's respectful. Even when his trainer said, and basically his trainer speak for him, he made decisions on his behalf. Especially when his trainer said that you ain't done nothing. Where was the malice in his voice? And they have what Mexicans have a certain code. You know what I'm saying? If Canelo came out and probably called him a punani and all that, maybe he would blow fire. But he has a certain amount of respect for Canelo. And I just think it's about ethnic code. Because when it comes to Charlo, he a little bit more nastier to Charlo. He a little bit more, aggressive toward Charlo. When it comes to Canelo, it's kind of like a respect factor. Like if he about to get disrespectful, it's like a mechanism in his body, even his father. You know what I'm saying? Even though with his brother with Terrence, he got a little bit grim with Terrence. It was some bad blood there, but when it's Caleb Plant, they had bad blood there. Obviously, we see what happened when it comes to Canelo. It's like he not going past the fence. It's like a certain barrier that's there where he not gonna disrespect them. He kind of talking about how Rocky Field and get the fight, but he won't say you a B, you scared. He won't say none of that. He gonna go right back on code. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's something that it is what it is. Is it something that I respect? That's an ethnic pride, yeah, to a certain extent. But damn, you know what I'm saying? He ain't fighting you like Charlo ain't fighting you. You calling out Charlo, you gonna have a belt. Charlo does have a belt. So if you're gonna move down, no. Canelo got a belt. Canelo won undisputed without fighting the quote unquote people's lineal. I think the media lineal. You know what I'm saying? That's like Terrence Crawford getting undisputed at 147, going through Ortiz, going through Ennis, going through Ben Batuev, or Sayonis or whoever it is. Let's say he sweep and beat those guys. People gonna say, well, he really not linear because he really didn't beat Earl Spence. He priced himself out versus Earl Spence. He really ain't lineal, but Canelo do it. Nobody really talking about it, bro, on that half. Even the brothers ain't really talking about how, people say, well, Benavidez did lose. Even if Benavidez held that belt, they were going to allow Canelo to be the franchise champion and call himself undisputed like Teofimo Lopez. So to me, it didn't matter if Benavidez held the WBC. He was gonna be downgraded to regular champion. So it didn't matter if he lost his belt on the scale. You know what I'm saying? And I think Ness asked him. I think he might have asked him, like, people saying that Canelo probably wouldn't. Yeah, he did. He said, "Can people say Canelo wouldn't have come to super middleweight, if you didn't lose your belt?" And he talked about it, and he was very respectful about it. He was very respectful about it. He ain't say, he said, it doesn't matter, and this, that, and the third. So, like I said, if Charlo did it, like, what I'm saying, he'd be on his helmet. They got some type of code. They said you ain't done nothing. You know what I'm saying? Fire back at them. He did, but nowhere near the aggression, or nowhere near the you know, you know, kind of the malice that he got. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. We know this is a certain code, and that's not saying that he really don't want the Canelo fight. I think he really want that fight, but he's saying if Canelo don't give an opportunity, you know what I'm saying, I'm fine with it. That's basically what he's saying. He said, I understand it, but Charlo can't get away with it because he's not part of that Mexican code. And if I'm Charlo, you can go fight Canelo. What you want to fight me for? I don't have a belt at 68. Go fight Canelo. And he says he deserves to fight more than Charlo too, and I'm like, bro, he basically said that Charlo, he been around. He said he been watching Charlo since he was 13 years old, and Charlo ain't done nothing. They basically done about around the same thing, right? And that's pretty much everybody in boxing. Nobody really moving like that other than a few of these dudes, But he said basically he don't deserve the opportunity because because he ain't done nothing. He named off a few fighters. Him and Ness named off a few fighters. So Charlo debuted in 2008. So that's I call it 13 years. That's not even add this year. So David Benavidez is how old? He 25. So yeah, he about right. He about 12 years old when Charlo debuted. 12 or 13, depending if you add him debuting in September. I just rounded to the next year. So yeah, he about 20. He was. He said he ain't done enough to deserve that fight. And I'm like, it is what it is. I feel what you're saying. Hold on. I feel you. I do. He said he not more deserving than me about the fight. It is what it is. Your opinion. It's your opinion. So, I mean, he said, quote, he said, Benavidez says Charlo only fought 4 notable guys. Even like my beef with Jermall Charlo, he's been there so long and can say what he wants. Still, honestly, he's only fought Derevchenko and J-Rock. Said Benavidez to fight hype been pointing out. Jermall has only fought a small handful of notable fighters during his career. So, okay, like 4 guys said Benavidez has been told Charlo is also fucking Neil's K9 Bundreds. Austin Charlo, I've been watching that guy since I was 13 years old. I think they're more deserving. Than they are, and they think they're better than they are. The person I do respect a lot is Canelo. He's beat a lot of good fighters. You know what I'm saying? He said, continue quote. That's like when other people like Charlo say they're the best. The same thing they say about me, they've got to say about him. When is everybody talking so much ish about me when everybody else is the same, said Benavidez. So, okay, basically saying they're on the same level. He said Charlo only fought like 4 guys, right? So I disagree with that. I think maybe like 5. I think it's like 5, bro. So looking at his career, he did fight K9, my fellow Detroit brethren. Check out his channel, YouTube channel. He did fight Austin Trout. He did fight Julian Williams. He did fight Matt Korobov. Yeah, that's about 5 guys. Just additional guy. I think Korobov really beat him. I think Korobov got a raw deal. No, y'all know he lost to Korobov. Y'all just don't want to admit it. So yeah, so you got Derevchenko, Korobov, J Rock, Trout, and creating. So yeah, I mean, yeah, he been fighting since 2008. But you got to remember too, and I ain't making no excuses for Jermall Charlo, but you have to remember as well that he wasn't the one with the boxing promotional deal. Jermall was the one they was really pushing. So Charlo just had a fight to fight deal with I think Golden Boy, whoever it was. So he really was never he really never was the guy. You know what I'm saying? So like I was saying in that interview, this is the exact one. He says that they think they're more deserving than what they are, and they think they're better than they are. Talking about, I think he's talking about Plant and Charlo. He said the person I respect a lot is Canelo. Like I said before, kiss your ass ain't gonna get the fight. He said he not fighting no more your kind. He not fighting Canelo. Like I said before, he said he beat a lot of good fighters. Like before, man, if you look at Canelo resume, man, bruh, he got the power to fight anybody he want to. And it's always like some type of like condition with him. That's what people don't talk about. It's like it's taboo. I'm not just talking about Benavidez. I like Benavidez, hell of a fighter. But a lot of these brothers, man, like guys, I'm just naming guys, Sean Porter, guys like Gervonta Davis, they kiss that man's ass. And everybody know he not beating guys how they coming. Everybody know him. Everybody know he not beating them like he not beating them like they coming. That's a fact. Everybody know he not beating them like they coming. Everybody knows it's a rehydration. He put a rehydration clause in Rocky Fielding. Everybody know that. Everybody know he put a rehydration clause in Rocky Fielding. So if he putting a rehydration clause on Rocky Fielding, what other kind of like conditions do we got? These fighters fighting Canelo with their head behind their back, and they probably allegedly signing non-disclosure agreements. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Everybody want to act like, he beating guys. He's destroying. Everybody know, man. It's rumors that Nacho Beristain just did an article on Fight Hype. There's rumors that Canelo fighting dudes, they taking a dive. That rumor been prevalent for a long time. It's going around that the fighters that he beating, they are taking dives, like Kovalev allegedly. Like they said Plant took a dive allegedly. So not only is you draining guys allegedly, not only you putting her, they put like 2 or 3 different weigh-ins for Kovalev allegedly. Not only did Kovalev not get an opportunity to rest, that's a fact. He still had to fight you. All these conditions. Then at the end of the day, you still got guys allegedly falling down and taking dives. So how great of a fighter are you? But it's taboo for fighters to talk about it, bro. It's kind of like Terrence Crawford. Like PBC fighters wasn't allowed to say Terrence Crawford, or the networks, Fox and Showtime wasn't allowed to acknowledge him, even if he came to a fighter, or even if he was a world title holder. Even if he was, however it may be. So like I said before, man, you can sit here and we can say we want to say, bro, but it's taboo. 2 things in boxing that's taboo. For PBC fighters to acknowledge Crawford and say they want to fight Crawford, like Thurman said, I fight him. He got a text message, he got a Skype call, he got a CC email and said, "What you doing? You're not fighting him." And it's taboo to acknowledge Canelo not fighting these dudes straight up. It's just a fact. It's just a fact, bro. Tell me I'm wrong. It's just a fact. And I'm not saying this for Benavidez. It's a fact for I'm really talking about black fighters, bro. They kissing his butt, they basically waxing his cheeks and sanding him down and waxing him again and putting floor gloss on him. It's disgusting, bro. He asking all these questions like, what Caleb Plant do to deserve a fight? He says, Caleb Plant, who did he fight? Said Benavidez, questioning his talents. So in a way, he trying to really get at Canelo, but he got to stay on code as a Mexican. He already a Mexican American, so you know what I'm saying. You know how that was with Oscar back in the day. They didn't respect Oscar as a true Mexican, even though his father was a Mexican. He said he fought Uzatagi and almost got killed in the last 3 rounds. Charlo always got, how am I not deserving of a fight when these guys are? But anytime he really started to ramp up in this interview or started to question Canelo. You know, he never name drops Canelo. He never dropped. It's like he got a pillow talking and kiss and don't tell about Canelo. Anytime he started really watch it on Fight Hype. Anytime he really started to talk about it, when he questioned Canelo, he never put Canelo or Eddie Hearn name and Eddie Renasso's name in it. He said, yeah, these fighters are a little bit closer being made. Plant already got there with Canelo. He already got the check. So what's left for me is to fight Canelo. I think these fighters are closer to being made than further. That's what I'm saying. I'm in a good position. He said he's already a champion at 168 pounds, said Benavidez about Canelo. Then asked if he moved up in weight to take advantage of him being stripped of his WBC title after failing to make weight for his title defense against Ramiro Alexis Aguilera in August 2020. He said, quote, I don't want to sit here like I'm a hater or say, oh, yes, Canelo's scared of me. That's the only reason he came up after I lost my belt. He saw the opportunity. He get a belt and came up and got it. He said, I would have done the same ish, said Benavidez, sounding cautious about ripping Canelo. Like I said before, look, this is one of the few and far between that Box News 24 actually is really telling it how it is, bro. It's more opinionated, but I like to read the manuscript. So Dan Ambrose, I'm giving you a great pat on the back because he said exactly what this interview was about in the line. He said, I would love to done it. I would done the same issue about, being an opportunist when he lost his belt for Canelo, come get it. Benavidez sounding cautious about ripping Canelo. Bruh, he kissing Canelo's butt all through this interview, bro. And I'm not like really trying to get at him, bro. But he kissing Canelo butt all through this interview. Signing them cheeks up. Because he got to. So you can't say nothing bad about Canelo. He won't give you a fight, bro. He going, a 0 to 100 on Jermall Charlo, but doing the speed limit or below the speed limit on Canelo. He also talked about fighting Demetrius Andrade. He said, I would like to fight Andrade. Demetrius Andrade, too, said Benavidez, that's a good fighter. He said, just for me, of myself to give me the experience to be the fighter that I want to be and have the legacy that I want to have. That's not an easy fight. I will push for it. I'm not scared of nobody, Benavidez said. So he said he'd push for Boo Boo. He also talked about where he didn't matter where the fight was at. He talked about getting love in Texas. He talked about getting love he wouldn't mind having in Phoenix. He said he'll fight Demetrius Andrade anywhere and said he is interested in fighting Demetrius Andrade. But like I said, like the writer said in this article, that's the perfect line. He is cautious about disrespecting Charlo. Disrespecting Canelo. He reckless about disrespecting Charlo. He don't have the same malice. He don't have the same malice for Charlo that he do for Canelo. For any fighter. People say, well, he just was respectful about Demetrius Andrade. That's different though, because it ain't no history there. Andrade ain't got a belt. He ain't got an interim belt. He ain't beat Zach Parker. He don't have a fight there or venue for Zach Parker yet. He don't. So, like I said before, but he being very cautious about he being very cautious about disrespecting Canelo. And I don't think he's scared of Canelo. I think he knows he has to I think he got to be respectful for Canelo to get that fight, bro. And I think, he don't want to lose a potential fan base in the hardcore, these casual Mexican fans who make up Canelo fan base. He don't want to lose them. He don't want to lose them. Now, is he right that he deserved a fight just as much as Charlo? You know what they call it? Seniority. They call it seniority, bro. Your resume, even though, you ain't been around that long, your resume ain't nowhere near Charlo's. And that's saying a lot because Charlo resume is trash. It's whack Arnold's. But I understand him being around, not being signed to a major promoter. So I get it, though. So he ain't always had the backing that his brother had. That's a fact. So, like I said before, I get it. But, sometimes you got to wait in line for your opportunity, bro. And Charlo, he might get it. And I'm going to get to the point about the Canelo rumors and what I hear. But like I said before, Caleb Plant got the fight because he had the last belt and he was easy. He was easy work. Caleb Plant had fought nobody. He's fought nobody, bro. And Charlo getting this fight because he looked vulnerable versus Juan Montiel. That's why he getting this fight, bro. That's why he getting that fight. He looked vulnerable versus Juan Montiel. You asking all these rhetorical questions that you know the answer to. He get in the fight because he looked vulnerable versus Montiel, and that's a fact. That's a fact. If he would have blew Montiel out, he wouldn't even be Canelo's an opportunist. You kissing his ass like he gonna give you a fight? He not. He not. No matter how much if a girl want to give it to you, no matter how much you pillow talk a girl, you know what I'm saying? Don't matter. Now, if she don't want to give you the box, she don't want to give you the box. Now, if you come up with some money, that's different. For sure. If you come up with some money, that's different. That's fine. So I get it. But he thinking he gonna kiss Canelo, but man, look here, man. Either these fans gonna be fans of you or they not gonna be fans of you. It's either or. So you don't want to lose a potential fan base and disrespect this, that, and the third. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta get disrespectful. And I know he don't want to disrespect Canelo, not only because he might miss out on the opportunity to fight Canelo, but he probably feel that he don't want to lose a fan base. That's exactly what it is. He don't want to lose a fan base. He don't want to lose a fan base. So, it is what it is. I feel him. He can do whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. But like I said, keep the same energy for Canelo. You can't want to fight a guy and fight a disrespectful type of style that he do, and you can't respect him. Even if you're trying to pillow him in, disrespect him. Let him know what you feel. Lara got to fight by disrespecting him. If you lose some fans in the process, so be it. If you continue to put on and keep whooping butt and taking names, they're gonna respect you regardless. So let me get this information out real quick. So apparently, Canelo Garcia says that it says Canelo is looking to fight 3 times this year. He wants to do a fight in Mexico in December. We talked about this at PBC had told Canelo $50 million for Charlo, but now they're offering $45 million for Charlo. Eddie Hearn final offers $35 million for Beaver for Canelo to fight Beaver and $45 million to fight Triple G. So these are the final numbers. So he got a 2-fight deal that's worth 35 and 45 million. So $80 million 2-fight deal. It was rumored to be 100, and now PBC's offering a 1-fight deal worth $45 million to fight Charlo. Now, also some other interesting information. It says, remember I told you that Canelo was in talks to fight Usman. The fight with Charlo is dead at the moment. Beaver is the first option now, and then Triple G. So there y'all go. The zone pay-per-views in the league. T.O. could be going with Eddie Reynoso. There y'all go too. Teofimo Lopez could be joining Eddie Reynoso, leaving his daddy. I didn't even see that last night. It says yes, the fight is, but that's they want him to fight Usman. That was the fight they said that the purists might not like. I think I told you that already. So, right now they're saying that the Charlo fight did, which I heard it was going on, but who knows, bro? So right now, Canelo could be fighting Demetrius for the $35 million on his own pay-per-view. That's what I understand it be on. And then Triple G for the 45. Then maybe come back at the end of the year, fight Charlo, but I don't know exactly what's going on. So there goes the neighborhood for y'all right then and there. Appreciate the love and support. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsor, video quest, all my social media links, subscription. Twitter's the fastest way, than Facebook, than Instagram, right? All the links there. If you want to make a financial donation, Cash App, CJ Good 313, Venmo, CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Other than that, man, find me on Twitch, Goodfella_TV 313. Please do that. Find me on Spotify, Goodfella TV Podcast. Find me on Anchor, Goodfella TV Podcast. All my boxing live streams go on there so you can listen to them audio the next morning. Other than that, appreciate the love and support. Check out the Boxing News playlist, the Boxing Rumor playlist. You know what the business is. We go.